Hello everybody. For those who don't know, my name is Elizabeth. And these videos are for my Gold Award project, focusing on the care of birds and picking the right bird for you and that kind of thing. Yeah. So this video is about budgies in specific. If you don't know, they're also called parakeets. You see them in PetSmart. Don't recommend getting them from PetSmart, but I mean, you do you. Yeah. Little birds, they're from Australia. They're really common as pets. And a lot of people don't know that there's actually two different types of them. There's the English show budgie, and then there's the American budgie that's more of similar to the wild version. The English show budgie was actually bred a bunch of times for size and feathers, so they could be shown off. Yeah. I'm just going to read off my pamphlet here that I made about the information about them. So we're going to start with the show budgies. So they're not that much longer or big in like height to the American version of them, but they are they look nearly twice the size in like volume because of the breeding that was done to them. They are more docile than the American version. They don't talk as much. They have about half the lifespan of the American budgie, because they are often inbred to get the desired look that they want. So half the lifespan ends up being about 4 to 5-ish years. So they're not much of a commitment. So if you wanted to get into birds, this might be a good option for you. They're small. Yeah, they're very common, well-known type of bird. The American budgie does live about 7 to 9 years. So if you want like more longer, or if you like the look of the English budgies, that's just something to know. The English show budgies have longer and fluffier feathers, which have much more pronounced markings and colorings and features. Sorry, they have just more defined feathers, and they're bigger than the American budgies. They tend to seem more like conures, since they're always looking for something to get into and wanting to play. So that is another difference between the American and the English. They're more similar to conures. If you just want a bird that likes to play, consider a conure. You can go watch that video. If you're on my website, it's under types of birds. If you're on my channel, I'll link it below. Conures, to get like the difference between them, and figure out like which one's best for you. They also have a deeper voice, and they're quieter than their American counterpart. So not as high-pitched voice. So they have the same training and diet and everything as the American, but they just need a little bit bigger of a cage because they're a bit bigger bird. So we're going to go into behavior and some facts. So some budgies may only learn to mumble and kind of like, I don't really know a good way to describe it. I mean, like when a person mumbles, it's like indistinguishable kind of words. Yeah, almost like baby talk sometimes. But some can learn some sounds. And words. Singing and mimicry are more pronounced in the males because that's what they do in the wild, for like mating calls and that kind of thing. And females rarely learn to mimic more than a dozen words. So if you want a bird that mimics a lot, you might want to consider a male. American budgie, if you're looking into budgies. Show budgies, like I said, are twice as large. But pet budgies are about the same as their wild counterparts. I don't even know what to call them. They're about 7 to 9 years. They weigh 1.1 to 1.4 ounces. They're very, very small. And so something to consider is that some are prone to tumors and other conditions if they're on an all-seed diet, which is a big problem. It's something you should really be aware of, that you're feeding your bird properly, and you're getting them the right nutrition that they need in order to survive. Also, the adult males flesh above the beak, they have like a little thing here. The males is generally blue, while the hens is pink or brown. So, fun fact about them. So, we were talking about diet, so let's go into that now. They normally eat many seeds and grain in the wild. 50% of their diet should be seed or grain. It's recommended that it's like a seed mix between grass seeds, which is about 50%, herb seeds, which is about 25%, and oily seeds that are about 10%. Just to make sure that they're getting a well-balanced breakfast, a good balance, and all that. Oh, and legumes should be 15. That if you are making your own seed mix at home, and you're not buying it from the store or something, that everything is safe for them, and you don't want to feed them something that isn't safe, and you also want to make sure that everything is very small so that they can eat it and nothing's too large. Dark green or yellow vegetables should be offered daily. This includes apples, pumpkin, grapes, carrot, parsley, broccoli, mango, sweet potato, squash, and spinach. And make sure they're cut into appropriate sizes. A good idea for smaller birds is to do a chop mix. So if you have like a food processor or that kind of thing, just throwing all your ingredients in there and pulsing a little so it gets into smaller pieces, and maybe like chopping part of it up, just to make sure that it's not too big for them to eat, because you want them to be able to eat the food that you're buying for them. Budgies are from Australia. I'll show you the map somewhere. There are feral populations of budgies that have escaped all around the world, most notably in parts of Florida in the US. So all the red on the map is where budgies live. They're more on the western side of Australia. I apologize. Yeah, they're more densely populated on the west side of Australia, and then some go into the middle, but that's not as densely populated as the other side. That's all I really have on budgies. They're a good starter pet. They're good for kids, to teach them a little responsibility. Yeah, they're pretty basic. A lot of people have seen them before. They were often pets in like the 1800s-ish, in like little cages. Don't recommend that you get that little of a cage for them, that they have some space to move around, and if they're an English budgie, that they have even more space, and you take them out all the time. Even though that they are a more beginning bird, you should still treat them well in a way. Like, don't keep them in their cage all the time or that kind of thing. So yeah. Hope you learned some things about budgies. If you want any of the information that I have said in text form for whatever reason, you can go to my website. It'll be in the description. If you're already there, hello. Just scroll on down and there's some information on the bottom with everything that I've said. Unless I went on a little tangent, then it's not there, unfortunately. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Bye!